I'm Vicky. Today I'm going to show you how to make a beaded iron-on patch. I've made this heart-shaped patch which I've then put onto a plain sparkly handbag that I had in my wardrobe. If you like my videos, please subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you click the bell so that you get notified when I upload something new. Come and follow me on social media as well. I'm on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. To make your beaded patch you will need an embroidery hoop, the fabric that you're going to bead onto. I'm using 2 layers of silk organza. You'll need your design. I've drawn a heart to the size that I want it to be. You can print off designs or draw your own. There's so many options for this. An optional thing is some solvay, which is a dissolvable embroidery film, and I'm going to put that between my 2 layers of organza, but that's completely optional. You'll need bonder web if you want to turn your patch into an iron-on patch. You can just leave it and sew it on, but because I'm putting mine on a handbag and I can't stitch it on, I'm going to use this to make it an iron-on patch. I've got a disappearing pen to mark my design on my fabric. I've got clear thread and a needle to sew it all on with, and then I've got a selection of different beads and crystals and chain and all sorts of things to use to bead my heart with. The first thing I'm going to do is load my embroidery hoop. So I find that if you cover the inside hoop of your embroidery hoop with a cotton, or I've used a old t-shirt here, just some cotton lycra, it keeps the fabric really taut and it stops it slipping out and getting loose. So I'm going to take my organza, a layer of my dissolvable embroidery film, and then another piece of silk organza, and I'm going to put my outside of my hoop underneath and then press the inside of the hoop down inside it, sandwiching those 3 layers between, and then I'm going to start just pulling it really tight. And once I'm happy with how that's sitting, I'm going to tighten it up, and then I tend to just push it through a tiny bit more, which I find just tightens it even further. Just keep pulling and tightening until you're happy with the tension. You want it to be like a drum. You want it to be really tight if possible. Next, I'm going to take my pattern and lay it under my fabric and draw around it with this disappearing pen. I'm going to start by beading the edge of my heart to give me my outline. So I've got a single piece of the clear thread on a needle here, and I'm just going to go in and out at the point where I'm going to start, but I'm not going to pull it all the way through. I'm just going to take my ends until they're about even, and then I'm going to knot the thread into place, but with 2 long ends. So I've got 1 long end with a needle on, and then I'm actually going to take the other end and put a needle on there too, and I'm going to use this to couch the beads down around the edge. I'm going to take 1 needle and thread a whole heap of beads onto it. So I'm using my second thread to stitch over the beads and hold them exactly where I want them to be to form the edge of my heart. So that gives us a really good line and holds the beads exactly where we want them to be. So you've got a really good edge there. So I'm going to keep going all the way around the edge. So here's how my heart looks with that first row of beads all the way around the edge. Next I'm going to do a row inside that using these cream Swarovski pearls and pink Swarovski crystals. And I'm just going to use my single needle and single thread to bead this next row. Here's how it looks with the row of pearls and crystals on the inside. You can see they've really smoothed up that inside line as well. I love how these look, so I think I'm going to repeat this on the outside to give a slightly uneven edge, but I'm going to switch the pearls for some red glass beads. Here's how it looks with the row done outside of the outline as well. And next I'm going to start filling this part in, and I want this all to be red. So I'm going to use some of the big beads that we just used around the edge, and I've got all sorts of different red seed beads in slightly different colours and sizes as well. So to fill in the middle part, I'm just going to go around and randomly put the big beads all over this area, and then I'm going to fill in the gap with the little seed beads. finished all the beading on my heart. I'm really happy with how it looks. So next I'm going to take it out of the frame and I'm going to cut around it really roughly. Now it's cut out, I'm going to go and rinse it really gently in warm water to dissolve the stabilizer. If you didn't use a dissolvable stabilizer, just skip this step. If you want to, you can also use a tearaway backing to help stabilize it as you bead, which at this point you tear the excess off. So this is how my patch looks now I've dissolved the stabilizer, and next we need to turn it into an iron-on patch. So if you don't need it to be an iron-on patch, you can just trim it and sew it on like this, but using the bonder web on the back helps keep all of your threads on the back in place to stop any beads coming loose, and it stops the edging spraying as well when we cut it out completely. So to turn it into an iron-on patch, take a piece of your bonder web that's cut just bigger than your beaded area and iron it onto the back using the paper that comes with the bonder web. I'm just going to iron up to the edges of the beaded area from the front as well. Oh, just a little side note, don't use plastic beads to do this because you could melt them at this stage. Once it's ironed on, leave it to cool before you peel the backing paper off. Once you've got your bonder web on, cut really carefully around the edge of your patch, making sure you don't catch any threads. Next you can either sew it or iron it onto whatever you're going to put your beaded patch onto. I'm going to put mine on this gold handbag. So I've marked the centre and I hold it up that way. So I'm going to lay my patch on and line it up with those centre lines. Again, it's really important that you only use glass beads on this and not plastic beads because they will melt when you do this part. So I've lined it up with my centre mark. Then I'm just going to cover it with a piece of organza and press it into position. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. You can bead any shape that you want and you can put this on anything. You can add it to handbags or shoes or jackets or jeans or shirts. The possibilities are just endless. You can bead over the top of fabric that's got an existing print on it as well, rather than creating a picture just of your own. There's so many options once you know the skills to get started. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll be back soon with some more videos. Catch you soon.